Alrighty. Hi, welcome all. Thank you for joining. Today we're doing a lesson and it's a pinch pot bowls. Um, also, the artwork in the reference is Dando Gracias by Leo Limon. And so today we're just doing a ceramic bowl and where we are practicing gratitude and honoring the Mesoamerican custom of giving offerings to the moon. And throughout history, the importance of pottery, it's been embedded in culture. And so these hold valuable objects as depicted in the print. Mesoamerican culture, there's many gods, and so one of them is the moon. So today we're just honoring the moon. I'm using air dried clay from Crayola. You can find it at the store. I bought it at Target. And so what I'm gonna use floss to cut through the clay. So right now I don't have like wire with me. If you don't have wire, it's fine. You can just use floss and to cut. All right. So from here, I'm just gonna pat down the clay to have a sphere. You also do this to get rid of any air bubbles that are within. So you're just kind of like patting down. It's a good workout for your arms too. All right, so once you have like a really round sphere, then you're gonna use your thumb and you're gonna press down the center. And you're gonna leave about ½ inch of clay before you hit the end. So like ½ inch, and then you're gonna insert both thumbs and then slow press with your index and your thumb and turn it. So it's gonna take a while. So the goal is to get even layer of clay as you travel upwards. So I'm just turning the pot, and then you can start to see how it's turning to like a vessel. So starting to look like a bowl. The edges, you want to leave like a thickness of maybe like a ½ of an inch, ½ to ½ of an inch thickness. The thinner you go, the more flexible it will be. So you don't want it too flexible because it'll just flop over. All right. And so here you start seeing where it's cracking. You could just get a little bit of water and just kind of smooth it over. It just needs to hydrate a little bit.
This is called slip, right? With the water and clay used to.
Yeah. Right now, like, because I'm mixing both, it's creating like this slip, correct? So slip is like the glue of clay. You use it to join clay bodies together or different portions together. All right, so that kind of looks like a bowl. So now you could see all the grooves that I've made with my fingers. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab a spoon and just smooth it out. Spoon is like a great tool to use.
Is the air dry clay non-toxic? Can you use a spoon that you use in your kitchen?
It is non-toxic.
Okay.
Mhm. So right here where it's getting a little bit cracked, so I just add a little bit of water to the spoon and then smooth it out. Okay. It's a little bit smoother, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of more water to really make it smooth. So once you finish smoothing the whole thing out, we're gonna make another smaller pinch pot. So I'm gonna, the other half that we have here, we're gonna cut it in half. And then we're gonna do the same process. So, and on the print by Leo Limon, you see this person holding bowls with like filled with fruit, right? And so the purpose of this is to make bowls where you could use for your personal use, either to add items of value that you think the moon would appreciate. Like I would add flowers or flower petals or anything I want to give as a gift. Or you could give the bowl as a gift itself to someone you love. A gift to your mom, dad, grandma. All right, so I've made a hole here. And again, I'm just gonna use my thumb and my index to press and rotate.
So what is the tradition shown in that print?
So it's worshiping the moon. So you're giving offerings to the moon.
And at that time, what were Mesoamericans expecting? What were they giving thanks for and giving offerings for?
So you would give thanks for a good harvest, for good weather, for rain. And so the moon would control the seasons, or it's more about like the how the fruitful that year was. So you want to give thanks for to the gods that you're able to have food on your table.
So for fertility and harvest.
Exactly.
Okay. So who would someone today give thanks to?
Great question. So for me, I would give thanks to, I also give thanks to the moon. Like the moon has a symbol of like femininity, of emotions. So you want to honor those emotions. Another thing you want to be thankful for would be, you know, having shelter, having so I guess it's personal for every, you know, this is your opportunity to like to sit down and think like what you're grateful for. Um, let's see, what else? or maybe like your loved ones that have passed. You could also add this to your altar. You know, this would be a vessel where you would put offerings to someone that's passed. All right. So this is like a mini pot. So what I'm gonna do now is using the fork, we're gonna do like scrape. We're gonna score. This is called scoring. We're gonna score the clay because we're gonna join these two pieces together. Because we score because you want the two surfaces to really bind together. And there is no, we don't want any air bubbles inside. So I'm gonna make some like slip real fast. So I'm just gonna grab like a little bit of clay and water and just gonna mix it. We want it to be really watery to the point where it's like, it looks like glue. So usually we'll make this in a container, use a brush and like really mix it in. So I'm just gonna use this little bit right here. All right. So now we're gonna join these two. And you wanna like shimmy, make sure they really get glued together. All right. So here, this is where you would speed up the process and use a hair dryer to dry it. So this is the other dry one we have now. This one. So once it's dry and it's a little bit more solid, then it could stand on its own.
How long would you use the hair dryer?
I would say like 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes.
On what temperature?
I used warm, but I think hot would work as well. All right, so once this is done, then now we could use paint to decorate the vessel. All right, so I have here black paint.
What kind of paint is it?
I have acrylic paint. I have some brushes here. So this is where you could be really creative and do like either narrative scene. I'm gonna do more of like a patterned bowl. Another thing you could do is do like model some like flowers or leaves and add it to the vessel. That way it has like a 3D quality to it. That would be another option. So since This is dedicated to the moon. And we use the negative space. And the negative space would be the area that doesn't have any paint. So negative space in this. All right, so use a border. Let's see, so I'm gonna add some zigzags.
If I don't have acrylic paint at home, is there anything else that I could use?
Use markers. I would say markers. I wouldn't use watercolor because you're adding moisture back to the clay. So markers would be a great idea. Right now I'm using black. I could use like a Sharpie. Or another, if you don't have any paint, you could just add like 3D lines and forms and add it to your surface. So like form a heart and like add it there, just like instead of doing like these zigzags right here, then you could just literally add it with the clay.
So would I use the same process of scoring and then using slip
Yes.
to put the heart on? Okay. So I would model the heart out of another piece of clay.
Exactly. So right here, I'm just using one color. And I'm using negative space. There it is.
So what is the inspiration for your design?
So the inspiration would be the moon. That's right there. And then the zigzags, like the moon controls the tides and the water. So that would be symbolized by the zigzags.
What about the design of the pot itself?
The pot itself, so I made like a larger vessel so you could add, has more space to add different things. And then the bottom is decorative so it could like stand on its own.
Okay.
All right. And then let's paint the bottom hole, the bottom bowl. Let's see.
So you're using the negative space as another color.
Yes, because I don't have white with me, I'm using the negative space as a color. All right. And I'm just going to paint the inside as well.
Can you talk a bit about self-help graphics?
Yeah, of course. Um, so self-help graphics has been around since the 70s. And it was started by Sister Karen Bocalero, where she would offer art workshops through a old UPS truck. So that was how BIMA started, the Barrio Mobile Art Studio. Now we still have that program today, where artists go to different locations, such as schools, libraries, um, events, and we give workshops to the community. And that's, I think, a great standing program that's been going on since the 70s. That's pretty incredible. Self-help graphics has events, has like youth programs for during the summer for kids and youth and young adults. That happens every year. And they also have an amazing library of prints from like artists from all over. So that's pretty incredible too, to have an impressive library. Did I miss a spot?
with that library that you're talking about? Is that what's behind you?
Yes, actually, yes. So these are the actual prints. The library is also available online where these prints have been digitized. But yeah, there's tons and tons of artwork in our prints that have been made here at the South Graphics location. So here we're just gonna make some relief forms and shapes. So we're gonna do coils. So coils, you're gonna use both of your hands and just roll the clay through. So you have coils. You would want a clean surface, a clear surface, and then just kind of use your whole palm back and forth with even pressure. All right, so there's one coil. So coiling is one way. I'm making another ball clay. So let's see. Use this ball of clay as the center for flower. So I'm gonna score score here.
When you score, do you score in more than one direction?
Yes, you want to score horizontally and vertically. It you do as long as you have like a lot of grooves. That way, both for surfaces can attach to one another. So another, as long as there's like a crisscross, like up and down and sideways. Add some water to this guy. Add it and shimmy it. So because the clay is pretty moist and it's at the same moisture level, you can just kind of add it and like model it and smooth it over. So now I'm just modeling, creating like little petals. And here I'm just gonna use my fingers to smooth it over. Maybe add some little water. And then for the zigzag, so I've added the coil. That'll be like the stem. So it just twirls around.
Would you Would you use the coil for coiling for something else?
Yeah, so that's another form of constructing pottery. You have um, pinch pot, pinch form, and then you have coils where you just make coils and then stack them on top of each other and then smooth them out. So that's another way to do a vessel or a form of clay construction. Mm. Thank you for joining the family workshop. It was really fun creating these pinch pot bowls out of literally like balls of clay. We were able to create these really cool bowls that we could use to honor, you know, a deity. If you could, another idea would be to honor Earth by using Earth to create amazing bowls that we could use in every day. And I hope you keep using clay, and every day. Um, Maybe you don't need a kiln, you just need air dry clay to create anything and go crazy.